Hi, Beth. Thanks for coming to meet me. I really wanted to ask for your advice.
No problem, John. What's up?
Well, I've decided to take part in an exchange program next year as part of my German course, but I'm a bit worried about adjusting to the new culture. You did an exchange last year, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. I spent a year in China.
Wow, that must have been amazing. But wasn't it difficult to live there?
Well, yes and no. I had some problems, but overall it was a fantastic experience, so I definitely recommend it. Before I went, my tutor arranged these special CultureShock classes. They were really helpful.
CultureShock classes? Sounds interesting.
Yeah, they were really good. Basically, there are 4 stages to culture shock that pretty much everyone goes through.
I see.
Yeah. The first stage is called the honeymoon stage.
Really? Why is it called the honeymoon stage?
Well, basically because that's when everything is new and it all feels exciting and interesting. Just doing simple things like going to the shops is really intriguing, and most of the time you feel really happy, almost euphoric.
Right, but I guess that feeling doesn't last.
No, unfortunately not. You move into the second phase, which is actually when the culture shock really hits you. It's called the negotiation phase. At this point, it's no fun anymore. You experience irritation and hostility towards the country you're in, and to the people too.
That doesn't sound too good. Why does that happen?
It's different for everyone. But any kind of cultural difference can trigger it.
Did it happen for you?
Yes, definitely. For me, it was several things. I found it hard to get used to the differences in manners, and the air quality in Beijing is pretty awful, and it's always so noisy and crowded. So this stage tends to happen after about 3 months.
Right, but does that feeling pass too?
Yes, when you move on to the adjustment stage. This usually happens after about 6 months and is when you start to cope with everyday problems and find ways of dealing with all the things that were annoying you. Life becomes more about normalization and positivity towards the cultural differences. Speaking more of the language by this stage also really helps.
I see. And you said there were 4 stages?
Yes. The 4th stage comes after about a year, and it's called mastery, or biculturalism. This is when you feel total comfort operating in the foreign culture.
So you fully integrate into the other culture?
Not exactly. Some people really do immerse themselves fully and completely take on the identity of the host culture. These people are called adopters and usually stay in their new country forever. This is unlikely to happen in an exchange year, though.
Right? But does everyone reach the mastery stage?
No. Some people actually never make it past the adjustment phase. They are unable to accept the cultural differences and usually see returning home as the only option. They're called rejectors.
Oh dear. I hope that doesn't happen to me.
No, you'll be okay. Most people manage to reach the mastery stage without any real problems, and they end up feeling equally comfortable in their original culture or their host culture. You might also find that when you come back, you experience reverse culture shock.
What's that?
It's where you go through the same stages we just talked about, but for your own country. For some people, this is actually more surprising and difficult than adjusting to the new culture.
That sounds really strange. Did that happen to you?
It did, actually. When I came home, my friends and family, who had all been so normal, suddenly all seem to act really weirdly. You may also find that they react to you as if you're a stranger or foreigner too. We're all used to each other again now, though. But the main thing to understand is that these processes are inevitable and happen to everyone who lives abroad.